The lining of this skirt has been ripped at the back seam, so I've cut out all the frayed parts and we're going to insert a gusset that is 4 inches across by a little more than 12, looks like 14 inches or so. And to do that, we first get a piece of lining fabric and measure out what we just measured on the skirt plus several inches. So we want to be more than 14 inches tall and more than 4 inches wide. So we'll start by cutting this side right here at the corner, make it go up to the top at a bit of an angle. This will be the right side of your triangle. And then measure the bottom, add a couple inches to that 4, maybe we'll go up to about 7. Make a little slit here, and then cut the other side of your triangle. We're not going to cut to a point at the top, we're going to leave the top a couple inches wide. So we go all the way up to about 16 or 17 inches tall, and then we take this piece and pin it right sides together to what is the right side as opposed to the left of the lining. Leave a little at the top and start pinning with your edges even, and just match them up and pin all the way down to the hem. And then after we get this all added on here, pinned together, we're going to go to the sewing machine. You're going to be up by the top where the top of the triangle is, and you're going to sew in the same holes left by that seam allowance where we cut away the frayed edges. Do not catch that seam allowance at the top of the triangle in your stitching. Your needle go a little bit underneath that. So we start here, back tack a little bit, and then sew these two pieces together. Remember, we're at right sides together and we're sewing all the way from the top of the triangle down. Now here's the top of the triangle again, and we're going to sew the other side. So you sort of pinch those two together, right sides together again, and then get on the inside, open up this area while you're still pinching those two edges together, and find the top of the triangle. So here you are, stick a pin up there, pull out all these extra pieces of fabric that got folded up there, and you'll see the top of the stitching you just put in. You want your second row of stitching to meet up with that top at a point. So then you're going to pin the edges together just the way you did on the other side. Come all the way from the top of the triangle down to the hem, and you're going to stitch in those old needle holes again. So we have pins all the way from the top of the triangle right down here to the hem, and again we're going to head to the sewing machine. I like to start at the hem for this step for the second side. Makes it a little easier to manipulate the top of that triangle if some of the fabric gets in the way. So again, your hem is opened up and you back tack down here and you're stitching right around those old needle holes until you come to the top of the triangle, and after you have stitched it and reinforced it, the right side is going to look like this. So now what's left is to trim out all of the stuff on the inside, especially up at the top of that triangle where you have that excess fabric, because our triangle was actually squared off at the top. And then you want to put the hem back in, just fold it up along the same lines as the old hem and press it, then stitch it down so that it matches. And when you're finished, the top of your gusset's going to look like this, and the hem is going to look like this. And this project is finished.